And it's my pleasure to be here with my Monday morning cohort in crime on the early edition on CBC Radio. This is Fred Lee. And those that listen on Monday mornings know the relationship that Fred and I have. And I'm delighted you're here. I made one phone call, said, Fred, could you help us out on Sunday afternoon? And of course he said yes, because this is what the guy does. He is the social butterfly of this city. He's the fundraising consciousness of this city. And anywhere there's a worthy cause, Fred will be there with his damn cowbell. You'll notice that Fred does not only have no flannel in his wardrobe, he has nothing that's checked. Do you have anything that's not silk? Anyway, we're here tonight at the request of Paul Sugar, and also at the request of Heather Matheson, a dear friend of mine. And we're here tonight to get you to dig into your pockets to help with the launch of the Paul Sugar Foundation. And the reason they had it here at the bar is because it's a well-known fact, the more you drink, the more you give. So please patronize the establishment. I want to call up to the stage now, beer in hand, the patriarch of all things flannel, and his trusty sidekick. Please welcome Dr. Paul Sugar and Dr. Marileen Kyriazis.
Hi everyone, thanks so much for Is that better? Yeah. Thank you very much for coming and supporting this effort. I'm just going to thank a few of the people that helped set up this event, and I want to thank Sandy Cullen and Frankie Hester and Louise Hamilton for all their help in setting this up. And all the volunteers that are helping tonight, thank you. And I want to thank Kendra as well for contributing in part to the food that's going to be served. And didn't I just say that? Kendra, yeah. Yeah, Kendra, oh, she's from the pub, yes, okay, got it, okay. We're going to start off with my introduction of the hub of this wheel, the brains and beauty of the operation, Dr. Marileen Kyriazis. Marileen and I have known each other for a lot of years. Marileen is a clinical pharmacist. She has her doctorate in pharmacy and has a special interest in palliative care and pain management. We've worked together in the North Shore Hospice and at Lionsgate Hospital in palliative care. She also seems to know her way around information technology. She constructed the entire website that's out there, and I'm still working on how to log in, so. Marileen's heart is as big as her brain. She feels deeply for her patients in need. She is generous, she is empathetic, and she's insightful. Her honesty and her human ethic are truly admirable. She's the co-founder of the foundation and in fact has done the major part of the work to make it a reality. She's tireless in her efforts. She's enthusiastic, she's good-natured, she's encouraging, and she's incredibly positive. When it was all overwhelming, Marileen was a rock. I can never thank her enough. So, one of the best human beings I've ever met, with great respect, Marileen.
So I will start off with a quote from Dame Cicely Saunders, who's the founder of the hospice movement. You matter because you matter because you are you. You matter to the last moment of your life, and we will do all we can, not only to help you die peacefully, but also to live until you die. While working in palliative care, I came across situations where I thought to myself, I wish I could help. How could I ease some of the burdens facing patients at the end of life? It all really started several years ago when Paul and I, as a pharmacist-physician team, cared for a patient in the community. The need for assistance beyond medical treatment was obvious to both of us. Though Paul and I were able to help in the situation, it occurred to us that there are others in need and that we needed support from the community. The idea evolved. Paul and I got to work as co-founders, and today we are launching the foundation, the Paul Sugar Palliative Support Foundation. The vision of the foundation is that no one endures serious illness without respect, dignity, and comfort, regardless of economic circumstance. I would like to quote Isaac Asimov, who said, "Life is pleasant, death is peaceful. It's the transition that's troublesome." And it's that transition where we need your help with. So how did we set this thing up? We chose the Vancouver Foundation to manage the funds. They are the largest community foundation in Canada, operating since 1943. Their administration fees are extremely low at 1.15%, and they're great to work with. We also partnered with the Family Services of the North Shore, and they will manage the program to support individual terminally ill patients. Paul and I decide only what programs we wish the foundation to support. As well, we will keep the donors informed. In the future, we may partner with other organizations to best distribute the funds to meet the needs of palliative patients in the community. Our website, www.paulsugarfoundation.com, contains all the information about the foundation and will be updated regularly. I will receive any correspondence through the email address on the website. The foundation's logo is a plaid square with the letters PSPS, right here. Paul Sugar Palliative Support Foundation. So our fundraising goal is $50,000, and that is simply a kickstart. So you will be invited to many, many more fundraising parties to help sustain the foundation's objectives. And it is tremendous support such as this that will enable our dream. It is tremendous support such as this that will enable our dream and vision to become a reality. Thank you.
As Marilyn just mentioned, the Vancouver Foundation plays a major role in this, and here to speak on their behalf tonight is Peter Jackman. Peter?
Thanks, Rick. And, you know, it's interesting because I was looking this way. If you just take a quick look behind you at all the people here, it's remarkable at the number of individuals that we've got here tonight. And what's most impressive with that is the fact that it reminds you of an African proverb. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And what we've got tonight is an opportunity to really create something. At Vancouver Foundation, for the past 70 years, we've managed lots of money and done lots of wonderful things with that money. But what's interesting is through the 1,600 different funds that we manage, we grant out nearly $900,000 a week across the province to different charities. And the impacts that those funds have are quite remarkable. And I think with this fund tonight, we have a unique opportunity to not only start something, because it's been started, but pick it up and make sure that they're having big impacts with that. And it's because of people like you, the donors that get behind those projects, that's the reality in what we're going to be able to do. The true reality...
Not in this union, but I'll help you.
All right, thanks, sir. This is... It's not you, it's me. That's better. So, but what's amazing about creating a fund is seeing where it's going to go. And I can tell you from experience, creating more than 200 different funds through Vancouver Foundation over the last 7 years, we have amazing funds that have just remarkable impact. And when you think about what that is, it's that one person's life changing. The impact that you're making tonight by being here is wonderful. Getting behind the fund is something that really makes true impact and will certainly make a big difference. And I know that Fred's got his cowbell here and will bring it soon. And certainly Rick will be encouraging others to get behind it. But I can promise you this, we're a very lean organization. We operate around 1% as our fees of what we manage. The reason they're working with Vancouver Foundation is because we make it very simple. They didn't want to spend the money on a bin. They wanted to spend it on the outcome of those grants that are going out the door. So I'd like to congratulate all of you for being here tonight. Thank you all for coming, and most importantly, I encourage you to think about what this fund's going to be doing, because it's going to be doing it for a long, long time. Paul, thank you very much.
Thank you, Peter. Now, also, another organization that has a great deal to do with this is the Family Services of the North Shore, and here to represent them tonight, please welcome Julia Staub French.
Is that good? Okay. I used to have a pretty booming voice, so usually being heard is not usually an issue for me. And I want to say it's really fun, Paul, to be able to come to a fundraiser where I'm not wearing high heels, I'm wearing a plaid shirt, and I'm having a beer. So this is a great start. I just want to say first, it is a privilege to have over the last, I think, 5 months, start really speaking with Marilyn, who I respect so much. She's so committed and so dedicated to the cause, dedicated to Paul, dedicated to all of you, and just confident that this is going to go, as am I. And her brains behind the operation has been amazing. And it's been wonderful to have the partnership with you, Marilyn. So. And of course, Paul, when he comes into the office, and we've had a chat, and he sits down, and we look at each other, and I say, we're a good fit. Family Services of North Shore, our mission, our vision is a connected community where people care for one another. And we looked at each other, and we thought, we're going to do something really amazing with this. I have so much respect for you, personally, and I've heard so many things before we even really got to know each other through our volunteers. And just in here tonight, just knowing how everyone is connected, I just feel like this is a very, very special moment. And usually when I'm involved with Paul and Marilyn and all of the volunteers who we've worked with for so many years, it always feels like a very special moment. So I'm just aware of that tonight, that something is starting. So many of you know, and I won't go into a big history over this, but we at Family Services of the North Shore have run an amazing volunteer program for over 35 years at the hospital. The hospital decided to make a change, as organizations do, and we decided that we wanted to continue to work within the community, as we've done for 60 years at Family Services, and continue with many of the volunteers who also want to do something with us in the community. And then to team up with Paul is amazing. So what a privilege. All of your support going to Paul. Just know that in partnership, I think we can do some really amazing things. I want to say that whenever I talk to someone, I say, well, you know Dr. Sugar. And many of you in here will be those same people who say, oh, my uncle, or my wife, or my neighbor. And how many people have had and been touched by you. It's amazing. I guess I just want to end that, we're going to do our absolute best every day we come to work, and we try and live out the wishes of all of you and what we all think we need in the community. And I just look forward to this journey that we're on. And thank you so much for choosing and having confidence in us to do this with you, Paul. Thank you.
It's not very very often Fred and I get to be involved in the creation of a foundation. We do a lot of work up in the community where we support existing foundations. This is brand new tonight, and you really are the start of something which I think is going to be wonderful. Something that's been needed for quite some time. It's different than anything I've heard about, and I want to ask Paul to come back to tell us a little bit about how this is going to work and how it's going to benefit everyone. It's going to benefit the community.
Thanks, Rick. I'm not the guy to talk to about how exactly it's going to work. I think Marilene's kind of gone over that. But I do have some things I'd very much like to say. I want to thank you all so much for coming to this gathering. I look out there and I see so many familiar faces from so many different places in the last number of years of my life. Thank you for coming out and helping me do something that I think is really important. And just your presence here is great support and encouraging, and thank you. And I want to thank Rick Clough, and I want to thank Fred Lee for being here. You both have a lot of demands on your time, and your being here is greatly appreciated. Thank you. Now, you all know me from many different directions, and most of you know that I am not a public speaker, that I am not an entertainer, and that I'd rather be at the back of the room listening than at the front of the room speaking. But I'm going to do my best here. So why am I up here? And why did I agree to cut off my ponytail if that's the way the vote goes? Oh God, thank you for that. Well, it's to draw your attention, and it's to ask for your help for patients and families at a very delicate, difficult, and painful time in their lives. We count the important events in our life, and there's marriage, there's children, there's anniversaries, there's bar mitzvahs, and there's christenings. But somehow we don't count dying, or rather the process of dying. This despite the fact that dying comes to us all, and that the realization, and I mean the very clear, solid realization, can be a catastrophic, traumatic, and frightening event for many. And the journey that follows can be very rocky. Perspectives, values, priorities, and emotions are thrown into turmoil. What looked large can become small, and vice versa. The most fundamental issues take precedence. Sadness, loneliness, love, comfort, support, and hopefully some peace. One of the most rewarding things for me is to help someone transition from a place of pain and desperation to a place of comfort and calm. If we take the time to access that part of ourselves that is capable of seeing into another human being, their needs, their foibles, their strengths, their fears, then you can determine what they need and how to offer it. This foundation has the vision, and I quote, that no one endures serious illness without respect, dignity, and comfort, regardless of economic circumstance. So how can your donation help here? Your donation can provide a few extra hours of home support that will allow a patient to remain at home if that is their wish. Your donation can provide respite for families. It can provide extra nursing care or equipment where patients are ineligible for government programs. All patients have individual needs and don't always fit into the standard protocols. It can provide accommodation for visiting family. And your donations can provide transportation. For some people, a $100 ambulance ride can represent a financial burden. Air miles can connect families and patients, How terrible that a dying person is alone because of financial constraints. The foundation will support the volunteer program of Family Services of the North Shore, as Julia said. Louise Donald will talk about the volunteer program, so I'll just say that their impact on patients and their families is huge. They help practically and they help emotionally. Patients feel cared for and they feel cared about. They lessen the fear to provide calm in the storm. The time at the end of life can be a time of depth and warmth and closeness if the basic needs are met. These are not luxuries, they are basic human needs. The foundation wants to help fill those needs. We can't change the fact of a terminal illness, and we can't change the fact that someone is going to die. But we can help to make the time until death more meaningful and more comfortable. And this is where you can help. Thank you.
Paul. We're going to get back to having fun and drinking in just a couple of moments, but as Paul mentioned, the backbone of anything like this is the volunteers. I want to ask Louise Donald to come up now, who's representing the volunteers tonight. Louise?
My first comment tonight is I don't do plaid. But tonight I did plaid, and next year I'm going to take off my vest.
Please don't be carried away.
It's an honor for me to speak on behalf of so many North Shore palliative care and supportive care volunteers at this really exciting launch to the new Paul Sugar Palliative Support Foundation. I have been a volunteer on the North Shore in the palliative program for almost 12 years, and some of the most touching and rewarding experiences of my life, and I know the other volunteers' lives, have been those that we've encountered and that we've experienced while being at someone's bedside or working with a bereaved family member. Over the years, many of us, most of us, have been privileged to support Paul in the work that he does with dying patients and their loved ones. As we have grown to know him, we have seen firsthand the love, the compassion, the steadfast commitment he has for his patients and for their families. And I know many of you have seen that firsthand as well. Paul Sugar is direct, he's honest, he's forthright and caring when communicating with patients and their families. He practices, yes. Paul practices person-centered care. We've all heard about person-centered care in the simplest of ways, and we can all do that by listening, by gently guiding, by honest interaction, always striving to know his patients as people and to understand their deepest needs, to understand what is truly in their hearts. Nothing that Paul undertakes on behalf of patients really surprises the volunteers. Whatever he does, it is always underpinned with honesty and fearless dedication to what is right and just. And it is not always his medical expertise, which is significant, that patients need and long for. Sometimes emotional or financial support or some other intangible thing can make all the difference. Paul Sugar understands this, and that is why we are all here today. And like Paul, the North Shore end-of-life volunteers also see in our communities where we work, in the hospital where we work, at our lovely hospice on the North Shore, in care facilities. We see so much patient and family sadness and emotional suffering as end-of-life nears. Too many times, this suffering is caused not so much by physical discomfort or pain, but instead by psychosocial issues. Fear, as Paul mentioned, sadness at leaving loved ones behind, isolation, loneliness, lack of money. And that is why the Palliative and supportive care volunteers on the North Shore are excited about Paul's vision to ease end-of-life journeys of the very ill, soften difficult times, and minimize the patient's distress and worry about financial need. And by offering support through his foundation to augment what the medical system funding parameters or amounts can provide. Our medical professionals, and on the North Shore we are blessed with excellent doctors, nurses, acute care aides, pharmacists, counselors, etc. These experts do their very best using the most up-to-date technologies and medical approaches available to them to help keep patients nearing end of life as free from pain and as comfortable as possible. Sometimes, though, patients and their loved ones need more than this to allow them to live each day well and fully. Often, they need to talk about what is happening to them. A kind and understanding person who has time to listen, to laugh with them, to hold them as they cry, to help them record their life stories, to be a friend, to quieten and relax them by offering gentle, holistic energy treatment. And our volunteer members are well trained in this work and are there to help. As Julia said, for the past 32 years or more, the North Shore Palliative and Supportive Volunteer Program has blossomed and grown under the direction, guidance, nurturing, and ongoing training provided by Family Services of the North Shore. They are a well-known, highly respected, not-for-profit organization whose vision, as Julia mentioned, is a connected community where people care for one another. And that fits perfectly with palliative care volunteers' desire to bring care, love, and lightness to those living in an end-of-life world. And we all will live there one day. Our volunteers come from all walks of life, bringing palliative world a myriad of skills, learning, and expertise with them, and the desire to support medical professionals working with dying patients. We bring life's experiences, but mostly we bring tenderness, we bring love, listening skills, laughter, calmness, music, and other holistic therapies. Therapeutic touch, Reiki, gentle foot and hand rubs, executive massage. Those are just a few of the holistic therapies we offer. And we offer those to both patients and loved ones, and the bereaved after a loved one is gone. Just simply, we bring ourselves to sensitive and often emotionally difficult situations. We all willingly and freely give time and energy toward the best possible end-of-life care for others in our community. It is always our goal to be completely present to patients and their loved ones. In return, we receive so much more from those we serve than we could ever hope to give. Patients and family members allowing us to be present and to share their life's experiences. What a huge honor that is for us. Until just a few months ago, end-of-life volunteers were under the guidance of Family Services of the North Shore, and we're still there. We're still here with them. And we're also work within the Vancouver Coastal Health System when we're in the hospital helping people who are dying, when we're in the hospice, when we're in oncology where people receive treatments. But there is a bit of a missing right now in our community, and Paul has recognized that, and fortunately, Family Services recognizes it also and is well positioned to take action, and they are going to welcome us to help them do that. And volunteers are delighted by the steps that Family Services is taking. Once again, we'll fully be able to support the quality of life in the community as well as in the hospital system, lightening the load carried by all those working in the medical system. Once again, we'll be able to offer weekly visits, respite support, bereavement support, telephone companionship calls, walking groups, and much more to those in need in our community. And that's thanks to Family Services of the North Shore, the Vancouver Foundation, and to Paul Sugar and his foundation. So let's give a clap for them. Just in quick closing, we the volunteers believe in Vancouver Coastal Health's focus on quality for all in their care. Quality care for all in their care. We believe in Family Services of the North Shore focus to provide education and support to heal and connect the North Shore community. And we strongly believe in Paul Sugar's ideals, his expertise, his love for all he serves, his honesty and his conviction that simple little acts of compassion and kindness can make all the difference to dying patients and their loved ones. And as end-of-life volunteers, we know that by giving our time and presence to patients and their loved ones in the community, in oncology, on the palliative ward at Lionsgate Hospital, in hospice, in child and adult bereavement support groups, in home hospice settings, in residential care facilities, at celebrations honoring the lives of those who have died. We are able to free up time for the professional healthcare staff, supporting them as they go about the very special work they do. What greater honor than to support Dr. Paul Sugar. Our much loved and highly respected Dr. Paul Sugar, and I know he prefers not to be called doctor, but anyway, he has seen a burning need for some in our community at the end of their lives. And the volunteers and others have seen this too. Paul has taken action, and Mary Leen beside him. And it is really asking for little from each of us to help to make his vision a reality. Together we can do this, and we'll get that cowbell ringing, won't we? Won't we, Fred? Won't that cowbell ring? We have to reach a certain amount before he rings his cowbell, so I'll leave that to him to explain. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Louise, and to all the volunteers. Speaking of volunteers, in the back corner, there's some lovely ladies there willing to take your dough tonight. It's all well and good to talk about what the foundation wants to do, but to have the foundation begin, we need your money. That's what we're here for. Now, we want to thank some people who have already made sizable contributions to seed this foundation. Jennifer and Robert Crompton, Valerie and George Corfield, Eileen and Robert Pattison, Deirdre and David McNeil, Will Landry, Beth and Alan Williamson. Absolutely. Now, in the back corner, there are also pledge sheets to vote yay or nay on the ponytail. Fred?
As always, Ricky monopolizes all the time. I probably have a few minutes, so very quickly, just to thank everyone for inviting me and having me here, and someone who's actually dealing with end-of-life care issues right now. I know how important that conversation is and how important that dialogue is, and so to have a community here embrace the work of Paul Sugar and Marilyn is absolutely fabulous. I have to admit, I didn't wear flannel. That's probably because I couldn't find one on the racks after all of you have just torn through the little thrift stores. But I promise I will come back next year if you'll have me, and I will wear a piece of flannel. All right? And you know, Paul, I do appreciate your ponytail, but I know some in this room would like to see you without. But yes, oh yes, okay, well. You know, the goal here is to raise $50,000, and I think you can speak with your pocketbook. Please see the volunteers. I think if we get to $50,000, Paul gets to keep his ponytail. That is my understanding. And I know we're halfway there, but we've got some very exciting news as well, and I'm going to leave it to Ricky to share. But we do want you to dig deep into your pockets tonight and support a very important cause, because, as we know, the growing population of seniors is only going up, and we want to provide quality end-of-life care. And folks, champions like Paul and Marilyn are important to us, to this community, to our friends, family, loved ones, and I just want to thank you all for your generosity and having me here tonight.
Thank you, Fred. Now, Fred and I are doing what we can to get the word out to the media. Paul was a guest on the early edition on Friday. I'm sure we'll chat about this tomorrow morning. And those of you who follow Fred, you know that he now will work the crowd with his camera, so please smile. Because it'll be in the papers. Yeah, in the papers. You do the Courier, you do the Province. What else do you do?
That's enough.
That's enough. Okay. Now, one final note from here, until we get back to drinking and having fun. Heather Matheson and John Leyland, two very dear friends of ours, were here tonight, and they issued a challenge. They will donate $5,000 if that can be matched tonight. If they can be matched in the next hour tonight. So go see the ladies over there. We'll keep a running tally. Please have fun, enjoy, and drink, because the more you drink, the more you give, right? Enjoy.
Paul's two daughters and his wife are right here. I don't know whether you've got a picture of the four. His son couldn't be here from Florida, but it would be great to, you know, amongst your shots that you take.
Can I have your attention for one moment? I would like to have your attention for very, very few moments, if I may. Hello? I would love to have your attention for a few moments. I would love to say a few words about Dr. Paul Sugar. My name is Anna Bartholomew. My husband, Gilbert Bartholomew, was very prominent physicist, nuclear physicist. He was very brilliant then, but unfortunately, in the last of his few years, he got very bad dementia and Alzheimer. And he was under Dr. Paul Sugar here for over 3 years. And I experienced Paul Sugar love, tenderness, care, empathy, and all these beautiful words which were said here from first hand, because Paul Sugar is an absolute, an angel doctor. That's how I would call him. Oh, absolutely. He was an angel at my husband's bed for the last 3 years, and particularly for the last few months. He is the one, as you know, probably all of you, he is carrying cell phone, and cell phone is ringing constantly, and he wants to answer every call. He is not going to miss even one. It's very hard to have, his attention sometimes for 10-15 minutes because somebody is calling and calling, but there is a break that you can go through and say what is the important thing, because Paul Sugar has time for everyone. I think he is an example of idealistic doctor. You don't have them anymore because the commercial world is totally overwhelming, and this passion, this idealist, is very, very rare quality in the 21st century. Absolutely. I would love to say that Dr. Paul Sugar is not only the one who cares about his patients, he truly cares about the families. I, as the wife of Gilbert, got so much love from Paul, so much hugs, tenderness, support. He was asking me about many things, and actually, even on the end of my husband's life, he treated not only Gil, but he treated me in a way that he was always asking, are you okay? Are you sleeping well? How are you? Because I was standing in the hospital day and night. And he was even giving Gil much more help and support what he needed in the last few days, because he knew how much I care. And he was thinking that this is important for me to go through all this tragic time, to support me, that he knew how much I care for my husband. I knew that we can't save him, but Paul was trying to show me that even to the very last minute, he truly is taking care of Gil. And I would say that for the last few days, he was at his bed every 1 hour, checking if he is not suffering. He wanted to ease his pain. He wanted truly to make sure that Gil is not suffering. But I'm not alone, because I spoke to many people in palliative care world, and all the families actually. I saw a few ladies here and some patients of Dr. Sugar here among the people who are here gathering, and I talked to them and I saw them there, and they were absolutely sharing my thoughts and my view. And the care what Dr. Sugar was able to give each of them is not particularly that I was privileged. Every his patient was very special for him and had a lot of help and care from him. And I would like to also say that Susan, his wonderful wife, is a support, incredible support for Paul. Without her, I don't think Paul would be able to do what he does, because Susan has compassion, as Dr. Sugar has understanding, patience, and she's a wonderful, wonderful wife. I would say that seeing all of you here and being among you, I'm extremely happy that so many people donated the money, because it's nobody else who knows more than Paul Sugar what is the great need for the patient who is on the road on his last few months, few days, or few hours. Nobody else can help more than Paul. And being an angel, be still the angel, Dr. Sugar. Thank you.
We have an announcement to make.
A big announcement.
First of all, with regards to my ponytail, there is $8,700 pledged that want to cut my ponytail, and $43,910 to keep it.
So that brings us to a grand total of $52,610 raised tonight. And in addition, we have $10,000 online donations on our website. So we have a total of $62,610.
Thank you so much for being here, for supporting this, and well, I can't thank you enough. Thank you.
Thank you, Johnson.
Dr. Sugar, we can't send you enough. That's what it is. Thank you for being superhero. Thank you. Absolutely, you are the star of tonight. And your help is well appreciated. The amount of money what we got because of Dr. Sugar, help and care and empathy, nothing else. Thank you, Paul.